Что ж, всем привет, дорогие друзья, с вами Импульс, и я сегодня попытаюсь пройти эту как бы непроходимую игру с Stanley Parable. Так, нажимаем начать игру. Попытаемся ее пройти. Пробую сделать свою концовку. Мне как бы друзья уже рассказывали, иначе он тебя заведет там до самой смерти вроде. Вроде так говорили. Так, click to speak. Ой, speak, господи. Несмотря на то, что у меня за окном уже час ночи, я решился снять это видео, поэтому я запинаюсь. Так, ладно. В натуре, как же так случилось? Тут идти надо это. Сюда, да? О, нет! Кто позволил себе разлить кофе, эту дерзость сделать? Ладно, сейчас мы поотдыхаем, расслабимся. Ладно, все, мы должны идти. Так, куда идти? А ни хера, пойду я справа. Но я понял, что это неправильный путь. Да, я хотел ей полюбоваться, конечно. Да, конечно. О, всё. Так. Нет, туда я не пойду. Сюда я пойду. Да, странно, что меня не уволили, ёпта. Как тут красиво. И куда дальше? А, вон меня поднимает, наверное, туда пойду. А если я самостоятельный человек? Что ты хочешь? Что это за комната? Взять трубку? Ни хера, я не буду это делать. Я не буду следовать твоему указанию. Буду ходить по кругу. Буду ходить по кругу, понимаешь? Я не буду брать трубку. Надеюсь, она перестанет мне звонить. Ты же перестанешь звонить? Опа. Белый кран. 427, 410. Хорошо, давай. What the fuck? Да, я думал, у меня есть любящая жена. Но не эта кукла. Что? Жмите R.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
C.
Look at him there, pushing buttons,
Посмотрите на
doing
него.
exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
4.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new
Плазма
lands.
такая нехеровая.
It was wonderful. and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Тап. Y.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk
Сиськи
to
у тебя
realize that
маленькие.
all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the
Капец.
earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something
Рыбазарить.
was almost too wonderful to behold.
Давай, отправляй меня куда-нибудь.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby.
Капец.
And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Да вы
It
задолбали.
was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always
Что?
does. Nothing has
Что?
changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer.
Блин, я просто
As long
хожу.
as he remains here,
Просто
he's
слушаю
certainly
этот
killing
бред.
himself.
Просто.
But he won't listen to
Запутанный
me.
бред.
He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Сказал не нажимать. Do not do it. Окей. Так я пока пепси выпью. И что, мать его? Ладно, я нажму.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Да ё-моё, чё издеваетесь?
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps... well,
Чувак, ты
maybe this
стряхнулся,
time we'll see.
отвечаю.
Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Пожалуйста,
Stanley
умрите.
pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
Все. Заново? Да. Весело.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Окей, окей, идем. Пейзаж. Насладимся природой, вдохновимся. Все, побежали.
When Stanley came to a set of
Так.
two open, this was not the correct
Давайте
way to
опять
the
сюда
meeting room,
пойдем.
and Stanley knew it perfectly well.
Все так же
Perhaps he
сделаем.
wanted to
Попробуем
stop by the
нажать не на
employee lounge
левую
first,
кнопку, а
just
на
to
правую.
admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Нихера, туда не пойду я. Все.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
Да.
I'm not your enemy, really.
Мы друг друга не
I realize that
понимаем.
investing your trust in someone else
Ты
can be
дурак,
difficult,
который говоришь
but the fact is
какой-то
that the
бред,
story has been
а
about
я
nothing but you
не следую
all this time.
этому.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself.
Нет, я
I'm not
буду
asking
делать
for me,
по-своему.
I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly
Может,
place your
подольше надо
faith in
подождать.
another, then pick up the phone. As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him, filling him not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone?
Да, я
No, that wasn't
отключил.
supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
А, вот так вот, понял.
No, it's definitely here, clear as day.
Тут все
Stanley
ясно,
picks
тут
up the phone.
пасмурно,
He's taken
понимаешь?
to his apartment,
Тут
where
не
he
ясно,
finds his
тут
wife,
пасмурно.
and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of
Да.
these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I
Блин,
don't
сколько я буду
understand.
ходить по кругу?
How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person. I can't believe I was so mistaken. This is why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices.
Вот,
I just think
понимаешь?
I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you'd made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you completely ignored even the most basic safety
Висись,
protocol
скотина.
for real-world
Ты
decision-making.
где-то там,
Or did you not
наверху
grasp
или
the
еще где-нибудь?
severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instructional video.
Конечно.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person, but if used incorrectly can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished
the
third world
fuck?
nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house.
Капец.
Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at
Я
no
это
time
помню,
should you
помню.
make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and
Ну и
practice
зачем мне
saying,
это?
"My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back sack and crack."
Практика. Ну,
Excellent. Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day. Do you make more than 8? Less?
да.
And finally,
Больше.
if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant, and the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to
Кстати, очень
test and
полезная игрушка.
reinforce the material covered in this video.
Она развивает и логику, и вообще
Ah,
социальную.
welcome back. You may have
Социальную жизнь.
noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry. Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
И чё? Назад, типа, да?
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story.
Вообще
That
крутая
story
игра.
would make no sense at all. We just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative
Просто она такая
contradiction gets any
продуманная.
worse. Unfortunately, it
Вообще.
seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Здесь вы читайте текст, если нет, перемотайте назад. Просто капец. У меня нет слов. Бегим. Точнее, идем. У меня нет ног, ёпт.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending. The story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world. Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Слева, но мне кажется, тут какой-то есть подвох.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late. Oh, it's ruined. I can't believe after everything we've talked about that you... My story. You've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What
Я
did you
сломал
get out of
систему,
that? What
пацан.
did you think was so special about seeing the game undone? Left here like so much garbage. It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do?
What do I do? What do I do?
No,
Shut up!
I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
О, Господи. Выключил игру. И чё?
I'm here. I'm still here. Here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You. Who thought you were so clever.
Да, я
Now look
умный.
where we are.
А
My
ты что
entire
думал?
game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you've run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley?
Нет.
He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it. That thought hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you.
Пацан, ты просто не понимаешь, какой я умный человек. С первого раза прошел эту игру.
My story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard. Behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task.
Так,
Just
что-то я не
follow my
понял.
lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Нет, сейчас сюда пойдем.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry. Behave exactly as Stanley
Ах
would.
ты, сука,
That
ладно.
means choosing responsibly
Сейчас пойдем,
and
пойдем.
always
Сейчас.
putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ну давай, давай, открывайся. О, молодец. Закрыто. 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 Опа.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer
Кабинет
there. Coming to
начальника.
a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Я пойду, да.
Stepping inside his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, until he saw the door with a voice receiver next to it. Surely behind this door lay all the answers to his questions. And beyond all probability, he knew the passcode. He had seen it on his boss's computer just last week. Night Shark 115. Was this the code to open the door? Would it still work? There was only one way to find out. Stanley had been trained never to speak up, but now he would draw from within himself the courage to face the unknown. He drew a sharp breath.
Night Fight.
And then
Ой,
spoke
Night
the code.
Shark 112, сколько там? Правильно я сказал? Night Shark 112.
Stanley spoke the
115.
code. Night Shark 115. He spoke it
Понятно.
into the receiver, right there on the wall.
Night Shark 115. Ночная
I'm
акула.
sorry, is there a problem? You didn't mishear me, did you? Please speak the code into the receiver. Otherwise we can't get on with the story. This is a crucial step.
Night Shark 115.
Okay, fine. You're not gonna do it, but you know what?
Ты чё, дурак?
Very
Я
humiliating to
сказал.
bring you this far, only for you to suddenly decide you have better things to do. I asked you for this one single thing, for your respect. The kind of respect Stanley shows for his choices. He knows what it means to take a story seriously. If you didn't want to see what I had to show you, then why did you come here? You had a choice, you know. You could have gone through the door on the right. You could have done whatever the hell you wanted over there. Why did you come this way? Speak. Say
Ты сам
something to me.
сказал.
Explain yourself, you coward.
Жесть.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the
Что?
door on his
Это конец игры?
Stanley? Hello? Are you... Is everything okay? Stanley, please. I need you to make a choice.
Конец.
Walk through the door.
Если вам понравилось это прохождение, ставьте пальцы вверх, подписывайтесь на канал и зовите своих друзей. Всем пока.